Rach, do you think it's time to get this thing started?
Yes.
I have gone on a lot.
Yes.
It's already been an hour and I haven't even done anything.
Shut that damn mouth and let me finish!
So, could I maybe see your knee pits? What?
So Devin has these lovely aerial roots, which you can see right here. These little brown nubbins coming off the plant. These are aerial roots.
Let's see. Is that your card?
Are you supposed to be in this segment? Oh yeah.
I'd like to welcome, please, right now, my very talented friend, Frank Chuck. Woo!
Spooge.
Spooge. So no points for either of our guests there, but that's okay. That's all right. We got another round to go.
Elementary Coffee Company is all about people. Since serving our first cup of coffee at the Broad Street Market in November 2014, we have dedicated ourselves to our team and our beautiful community, so we can build up together our beautiful city of Harrisburg. Meeting folks over a cup of coffee can break down barriers and create connections. We opened our independent storefront at 256 North Street in October 2019 with our mission of inclusivity at the heart of its design. We are listening to the diverse needs of our community. We invite you to join us and use our spaces and resources to work towards a stronger future together. Because what's easier than serving up some social justice with your favorite cup of coffee?
Inside the Drag Closet with Jade. Join Jade DeVere and her fabulous team of guests as they discuss all things drag, from wigs to makeup to performances and everything in between.
Join us at WLFE-DV.com for upcoming shows and more.
Max's Grill and Sports Bar, located in Millersburg, Pennsylvania, is just a short scenic trip from Harrisburg. Max's has outdoor deck seating, a huge variety of menu choices, and a friendly staff. Now offering online ordering and delivery. Be sure to check out our weekly specials on our Facebook page or by visiting maxsgrillpa.com.
So Nick Humphrey, how are you, my friend?
Good. How are you doing, Chris?
Doing very, very well. What's your guys' story? Where are you from?
Kind of all over California, both Northern and Southern California.
Who would you say the major influences are for this band?
Well, you mentioned 80s, so I got to throw the Depeche Mode card out there. A little bit of Aphex Twin, 9 Inch Nails, Radiohead, York.
Sitting alone, unaware, I was waiting for you to come around.
Is it a band or is it mainly you and working with other musicians?
Everything on Out of Order with the exception of some guitar work just done by me in the studio, but I do have some awesome players that I do play with. We are kind of working on writing together at the moment. My drummer is Adrian Candelaria, our guitar player Alex, our bass player Michael Mendoza.
We come alive.
People were into
trying to find Synth Circuit, where they would find it.
Pretty much on all streaming platforms. It's on Amazon Music, Google Play, iTunes. You still have iTunes. It's on YouTube Music. If you go on to synthecircuit.bandcamp.com, and that's SYNTHECIRCUIT.bandcamp.com. All of our music's free on there right now.
Center of attention.
Am I ready to get dragged? Oh, you bet, sweetie. Those other queens don't stand a chance. There's only a couple of them left, because most of them already choked.
Ladies, show me what you got.
That's right, only a couple more left for me to destroy.
You kidding me?
I should have drank before this.
I'm a cat lady.
Aren't you allergic?
And I'm ready for a cat fight.
All right, Dr. Seuss.
Get dragged.
So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Get Dragged is something you do not want to miss.
Let's get into it.
Good evening, and welcome to a very special episode of Unresolved Intrigues. Tonight, our story takes us to the warm beach houses of Miami, where a simple wanted has left one man his face for almost 35 years. Coco Davis was a cook and part-time dancer at a popular nightclub in downtown Miami. He was born to Charles Levin and Dottie and Samuel Levin. His sister, Barbara, was 5 years older. It wasn't until he answered an ad in the local newspaper that Coco Davis became part of an unresolved intrigue.
He told me he saw the ad for a live-in helper with this bunch of elderly ladies. I even took him to the interview. And afterwards he said the one lady really liked him. She was really friendly.
Coco Davis was hired by Blanche Devlin, an elderly widow from Atlanta who offered him $250 a week to work as a home attendant for her and her two elderly housemates. On September 14th, 1985, Coco moved in, started his job, not knowing that in less than a month, he would vanish without a trace.
Elderly? I could not, even under the most ungenerous terms, be described as elderly. And had I known, this program would be producing the most disparaging—
Coco, is there milk in it? On account I haven't had my lactate yet today. Of course, I do have a spare and a Depends in my Oh, you mean that Coco? Never heard of him.
Well, I only met him a few times, but he was a great cook and a wonderful performer. His impersonation of Liza Minnelli was really something to write home about. So I wrote home about it.
Rose Nyland had inadvertently preserved a clue that put Coco Davis's disappearance in a whole new light. In a letter to her cousin's friend's barber, Oddvar Andersonson, Rose Nyland mentioned a conversation she overheard that took place the day Coco Davis vanished.
There's so much excitement this week that I nearly forgot to tell you that I met Dorothy's mother, Sophia, today. She's much smaller than Dorothy, about as tall as your old pal, Bringard, before the amputations. She's just as funny as Dorothy, though. I overheard her telling Coco about a gay millionaire yachting club based out of the old Chi-Chi's on the South Pier. But everyone knows that's where that vicious bike gang hangs out. What a character.
Coco Davis was last seen at 7:45 at night when Dorothy Fornack gave him the night off after his landlady's wedding was disrupted. In the confusion, Coco's absence was not immediately noticed. He was last seen wearing a sequin top and a pair of cut-off shorts. This security footage from the corner of Washington Avenue and South Point Drive captured a final shot of him. For all we know, the last images of him ever taken. If you, or anyone you know, has any information on the case you saw tonight, call the number on your screen. Update. Shortly after our episode aired, a mysterious letter arrived, addressed to the ladies of the house. The return address was Athens, Greece, and it contained only these photographs. Perhaps this is one unresolved intrigue that will never be resolved.
My talented friends, the very talented.
Hey, the Werners. How are you guys?
Oh, how are you today?
Well, I'm very well. Is it me or is it every week? It's just a technological marvel. It just gets better and better, doesn't it?
We are setting the par for ourselves the next week. And I think that's the most important part about this journey with you.
Doing sports metaphors.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
I've always been well above par, and I'm that's as much sports as I know.
Knock it out of the park this week.
We're gonna get a hole in a striking
We're gonna get a hole in the thing.
Go sports.
In the
Go
goal.
sports. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Werners, I'm gonna check back with you later. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, everybody. I'm Chris Gibson, your host of My Talented Friends Live. Of course, my friends call me Gibby, and I hope you will too. Welcome to the show. But before we get started, I do want to say we here at Open Stage believe that Black Lives Matter. Whether they are trans, cis, queer, or straight, Black Lives Matter. And we must acknowledge that we are broadcasting to you today on the unceded land of the native Susquehannock people. And when I say we, I do not necessarily just mean the royal we. I also, of course, have a producer. And as you are certainly the potentially billions of you out there know that typically that producer is my beautiful and talented spouse, Rachel Landon. But not tonight. Rachel is off in Colorado, taking care of some family. Hi, Mariana. I hope you're watching out there. Hi, Rachel. We miss you. We love you. And tonight the show is being produced by none other than the Obstructed Views' own Brianna Dow. Bree, how are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. You know, the audience doesn't get a chance to understand how exciting it is in the wee minutes before the show starts.
Yeah.
And all the exciting things that happen. So I'm good now. Live TV.
Yeah.
Salute. Chin chin. Are you having a cocktail?
I am. Just whiskey and water.
just a tumbler of whiskey and a straw. Lady after my own heart, Bree. That's exactly how you work this show. Well, Slancha, cheers. Selena, cilantro. You know who else is here with us tonight and who better not be drinking is Chad Michelson. Let's see if Chad's... Chad? How drunk are you, Chad?
I'm not drunk at all. Gibby, that's illegal.
Is it illegal? How old are you, Chad? Wait a minute. Oh, my God. How old are you, Chad?
I'm 19.
Oh, my goodness. Well... We've made some poor choices here, staffing-wise, but well, yeah, certainly don't drink, Chad. I'm glad that you're in the chat room, and I'm glad that you have changed your background. That is a much more. It's like a very sad circus. It's like a death circus that you've brought to the show, which is maybe something that we needed. Yeah. Thanks, Chad. You got your hands full tonight, don't you? You've got some stuff going on, right? Maybe. Do we ever hear from Patrick Hughes? Are we doing a MadLibs sketch tonight? Do we think that's happening?
We are. Yep.
Oh, good.
Yep. So I got some awesome prompts for everyone to get their brains going for this literary night.
Okay, so you're going to just basically moderate that chat room.
As always.
As always, and collect those MadLibs suggestions. And you're going to stick around for the premiere of SPINOFF, the game show after party?
Oh, for sure. All the cool kids are doing it.
Well, we're doing it. All right, get Chad off the screen. Thanks, Bree. It is a huge show, and boy, we do have the world premiere of SPINOFF, the after show game party or party game show after thing that we're doing, and that's going to be exciting. We'll talk more about that later. It is a huge show. This is a huge show. My literary friends, my lit friends, if you will, and there's so many of them. They literally like moths out of a dusty book. They just showed up out of nowhere when we said we wanted to do a literary show. Ellen Stockstill, Dr. Stockstill is with us tonight. Rachel Dendy, Liz Curtis, show regular, Natch show writer. Ray Colgan's going to be back. Sammy Lee Melville, Brennen Dickerson, not cooking today, but is on the show. Patrick Hughes, as I said, is going to do a MadLib sketch. Of course, we'll have a song from the Werners. Of course, we will premiere our new game show spinoff. But before... Oh, SPINOFF, the game show, by the way. Yes, has a delightful graphic for it that you are all enjoying right now. That was handcrafted, hewn, digitally hewn by Rachel Landon herself. And seriously, it probably took her, I'm going to say, dozens of minutes to get that done. Maybe not dozens, double digits. Maybe, but it's a good logo. We love it. But we're going to get right into this show. We're going to jump right into our news segment, which is called
That Happened.
Yes, the sense of newsroom urgency that comes from that is it's riveting.
It's really annoying to play though.
Oh, is it? Well, you make it look less annoying than you would think.
Yeah.
So we're just going to jump right in. I'm just going to jump right into the news, y'all. This news is hot off the presses, and I have put it on a screen that is so small, and my eyes are so old. Okay, so I'm going to read the first story. You guys ready for this? Here it comes.
I'm so ready.
Oh yeah.
The state of Mississippi is holding a contest to determine the design of their new state flag. That's right. That's the flag. This is not the flag of Mississippi, but state officials announced that an entry featuring a mosquito had actually been included among the finalists and has since been removed. Yeah, you could just get rid of that, Bree, because you would never want to associate the government with any sort of blood-sucking pests that are known for facilitating the spread of a disease. Yeah. That just wouldn't. It just doesn't.
So political.
Yeah. So political. And Mississippi is known for having nothing.
Being super liberal, yeah.
Super liberal, nothing politically questionable in their history. So I'm sure they'll work that out. The next story is this one. As the coronavirus rages on, I don't know if you've heard about it, but we are in the midst of a global pandemic.
What?
Yeah,
it's raging. Go outside. It's raging. As it rages on, some items remain elusive to buy, including Dr. Pepper. My friends from Texas, we all love Dr. Pepper. Comes from Texas, so we all love it down there. But Dr. Pepper is hard to find. The parent company has acknowledged shortages by tweeting that they're having some difficulty stocking shelves while keeping their employees safe. And there's a sort of very heartfelt message from the people at Dr. Pepper. And thankfully, the company has indicated that it has several Pepper PhD candidates who are finishing their theses and maybe graduating sooner than is expected. And that's what happens when you're in a pandemic is the students just, they cram and they just get out and get to work.
Well, my personal favorite, the generic Dr. Bob, I'm pretty sure he got his doctorate at a community college. So, I mean,
There's
that's
also
probably why it's more readily available.
The old standby Dr. Thunder, I've seen that as well.
Dr. Thunder.
There's a lot of standbys, but we need to pass things on to the next generation.
Is Dr. Thunder a northern sort of alternative to Dr. Pepper? Is that what Dr. Thunder is?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of generic brands of Dr. Pepper in the grocery stores.
I'd
Dr.
say
Thunder,
as much as you like the original, we're in good hands.
Yeah.
Well, I love the original. Mr. Pibb, not up to snuff. Not up to snuff. Thank you, Jason, for bringing that up. Yeah, Mr. Pibb is no Dr. Pepper. Let's move on to, we got so much to know. I'm just going to get into this next news article. Organizers of the annual Philly Naked Bike Ride in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, have canceled this year's event due to the risks prevented by the coronavirus pandemic again. And look at those guys. The event, which usually draws thousands of nude cyclists there, you can see some of them right there riding on a bike with no pants. And it had been set to happen later this month, but the organizers who had been gearing up for it said that the city's COVID-19 cases would make the event unsafe. And the CDC scientists cite the cancellation of the event as proof of the axiom that every dark cloud does have a silver lining. So, we like to bring the positive news stories here too, not just the gloom and doom.
Two big, hairy, dark clouds.
How do you sit on one of those seats?
I was going to say
it has to be one of the wide bikes, I would assume.
I'm all for nudism, but it's just like if you're sitting in a leather chair and you get up.
That's actually how I lost my virginity, is riding in that bike ride way back in the day.
Well, that's a story that we're going to have to share another time, but it sounds like a good story.
I got in an accident on my bike naked, and then boom.
Lost your virginity.
Lost my virginity.
Kids, stay in school.
I
Stay
should
in
call
school.
him. I should call I should call him.
Schwinn.
Call that bike. See what he's doing. See what he's up to. Hey, the Werners, this was our news segment.
What happened?
That happened.
Hard-hitting news, uplifting news. I mean, that's what the people come here for. Thank you, Nick and Stacey and Bree for all of that, and thank you all the writers who wrote all that wonderful, professionally written comedy. Thank you so much. That was very, very well done. My first guest tonight I'm super excited. I am a huge fan of my first guest, Dr. Ellen Stockstill. She is the assistant professor of English at Penn State Harrisburg, where she teaches courses in British literature and critical theory. Please welcome to the show my professor friend, Dr. Ellen Stockstill.
Hi.
Hey, how are you, friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm so well. I'm having a good time. The show's just getting started. We've had, no technical flaws so far, and don't expect any. So how about you?
Good. I learned a lot in that news segment, and so I feel already 5 minutes in, I am more informed.
Yeah, you and I, there's a kismet that we share of we're drawn to teach, we're drawn to educate, both of us. I've often said that about myself. You have some adorable children that you brought on in our tech check-in, River and what's the other one's name?
Lydia Grace. Yeah.
Oh,
Lydia Grace.
Just adorable, beautiful children.
Thank you. Thank
and,
you.
Brennen,
thank you.
Because you're not just a professor at Penn State Harrisburg, you're also the in-resident professor of Open Stage, right?
I like to think so. I mean, I'm waiting for the plaque in the mail that says that, but I certainly like to refer to myself as such.
Well, I don't know if you've heard, the mail is a little slow these days, so it's coming. It's coming, but yeah.
Okay, good. I'll wait for it.
You put together just an absolutely fantastic segment for us tonight, and I just want to say thank you. And I've been wanting to have you on the show for so long, and it's just such an honor to have you here. So thanks for doing that.
Thank you. Absolutely, it's fun to think about books and literature in this weird time. So I'm happy to be part of it and be part of a hopefully, I don't know.
Well, you put together quite a list. So Ellen, thank you. Love you. We'll see you. You go enjoy the time in the cottage that you guys are going off to.
Well,
and we're going to roll that tape. Thanks, Ellen.
See ya.
Hi, I'm Ellen Stockstill. I'm Assistant Professor of English at Penn State Harrisburg and very, very unofficial Professor in Residence at Open Stage. And I am here with some book recommendations tuned to the range of emotions that you may be experiencing during this time of pandemic and quarantine and just general sense of foreboding and doom. So, like Reese Witherspoon and Oprah before her, I am here with reading recommendations for 2020. If you're interested in politics and U.S. history, but you generally find the tenor of political discourse infuriating, then I suggest you pick up John Dickerson's The Hardest Job in the World. It's a book about the American presidency, its origins, what's become of it, and how we have a rather strange system for selecting candidates for the job. Dickerson writes with passion and insight about our country's commanders-in-chief without being particularly partisan or stuffy. Most importantly, he offers some guidance on how we might rethink the office and those vying for the job. If you love a good memoir, pick up Kiese Lehman's Heavy, an American memoir. This book is incredible. It's moving and gorgeously written. As its title suggests, it is heavy. Layman describes growing up in Jackson, Mississippi, experiencing love and violence, poverty, puberty, school, sometimes all swirling together confusedly. I highly recommend the audiobook because Layman reads it himself, and hearing it in his voice makes it so much more powerful. Now, you may be avoiding weighty reading material right now as you cope with the emotional and psychological roller coaster that is pandemic and quarantine. I get it. Escape with me then to New York City in 1949. If you love true crime and want to support some local writers, check out David Whitwer and Catherine Rios's Murder in the Garment District. David and Kat are colleagues of mine, and they've written this compelling book about the murder of a union organizer in the 1940s. It has murder, organized crime, politics, all in the mix. It's readable, it's interesting, and it covers an aspect of American history that not many of us know much about. So, what's not to love? And finally, if you're like, Ellen, that's all great, but what I really want is to escape to a tropical island and forget it all, may I suggest the classic Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. It's got buried treasure, pirates, some guy named Long John Silver who you suspect is evil, but you somehow respect too. Trust me, this book is fun. It's short, it's got great action, great descriptive writing from Stevenson. It has absolutely nothing to do with COVID, absolutely nothing to do with job stress, nothing to do with kids stress. It's just straight up 19th century adventure. So try it and enjoy it. And when you're searching for one of these books or another new read, head over to the Midtown Scholar Bookstore, who I'm sure would love your business right now, or your local public library. Public libraries are more important than ever. With lots of kids out of school and daycare and folks who've had to cut their internet to save money, with people feeling isolated in their homes, public libraries provide free access to books, audiobooks, ebooks, free access to the internet, computers, and they're a safe place where you can go and find a great book that can take you on a journey, even if you can't travel far from your home right now. Visit your local public library, check out something that piques your interest, and even donate to their mission if you can. I wish you the best and happy reading.
Well, there you have it. Some excellent recommendations from Dr. Ellen Stockstill. Thank you so much. We are so grateful to you, Ellen. And you can tip Ellen. You know, we do bring these talents here so that you may tip them. In the time of COVID, it's awful hard for artists to make a living. But see, Ellen here is asking instead that you donate to the Dauphin County Library System, dcls.org/donate. Make a contribution to the library system if you appreciate the stuff that Ellen brought to us tonight. Well, thank you and welcome, latecomers. If you've just shown up, you're late. We're not mad at you. I just want to let you know you're watching My Talented Friends Live. I'm Chris Gibson, your host. Call me Gibby. We would love it if you join our chat room. We're looking for suggestions for our MadLibs sketch that will happen later on in the show. Chad Michelson's moderating that chat room, so you just jump right in there and make some suggestions. But also, you want to subscribe to the show. If you're watching on YouTube, just click that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time we post a video, you are roused from your sleep. You know, YouTube will come and wake you up and say, "Hey, just so you know, there's a new MTFL video," and that is something that everybody needs. Also, subscribe. Share. Like us on Facebook. Join our My Talented Friends face group page. That is where it's a lot of fun stuff happened. We've been talking about books all weekend. Some really great conversations that we've had talking about books on the internet on our My Talented Friends Live Facebook group page. Join it. Everybody else is. I was mentioning MadLibs before. Maybe we should check in with old Chad, see what Chad's up to. If maybe we've gotten, who knows? Maybe we've already gotten all of our suggestions. Chad, how's it going in there?
We're still collecting some, but we're about halfway through the MadLib already, which is insane.
This is a very active chat room, is what you're telling me.
Very active. We got some chatterboxes in here.
Yeah, I noticed.
See what's going on YouTube right now. We're discussing Muppet classic literature. A wild time.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, I noticed that Stacey Werner is actually in the chat room, which is great because she's not doing anything else. She doesn't have anything else going on, so she's chatting. She's a multitasker. I'm not. All right, Chad.
Talented multitasker.
That is true. Are you doing well in there? Do you need any evil circus peanuts or maybe some rotten popcorn to go with your backdrop?
No, but some real popcorn would be nice.
Get Chad off the screen, please. Thanks, Chad. Okay, you know who we really do appreciate around here? That is our sponsors. Without our sponsors, Open Stage simply would not exist. So we do always want to take as much time as we can to thank our sponsors. And if you would like to become a sponsor or if you'd like to become a donor, just jump on openstagehbg.com and you can find out all kinds of information. We'd love to have you on the team. If you want to help keep arts alive in Central PA, you need to become a sponsor. Somebody who is with us every week, and we're so grateful that he is. Not every week, every other week. We bring Brent Lipscomb in. Brent is the leader of the movement HBG, the movement Harrisburg to protect all people. And Brent checks in with us every week to let us know how things are going in the Black Lives Matter movement, particularly in Harrisburg. And he has put together a video for us again today. So please welcome to the show, Brent Lipscomb.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Brent Lipscomb, and I'm here to talk to you about the movement, Harrisburg Movement to Protect All People. First, I'd like to start off by thanking Open Stage for opening up their platform to allow me to talk about the activism that is happening right here in the community. So what is the next event that the movement will be hosting? The movement will be hosting its March on Washington right here in Harrisburg, August 22nd, 2020 at 12 p.m. We'll be reflecting on what actually happened in 1963. So what is the March on Washington? The March on Washington is an event that took place in 1963, and you're probably more familiar with Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. This is where you had Jews, Protestants, Catholics, all came together to advocate for Black lives and to center those African Americans that have endured inequality for so many years. It's so important that you become a part of this movement. It's so crucial and vital that we all stick together, that we all believe in one. All men are created equal. All women and men are created equal. There's a role for everybody in the movement. And I just want to encourage you to be a part of it. Stand for something bigger than individuality. Let's try to put our self-interest, our self-emotions, our self-aggression, our own agenda aside for the public, for the community, for America. There are areas that we can always do better in. And as a fellow American, you should always be striving to fix those areas. To fix what we see our marginalized communities suffering from oppression, from the disparities and the lack of resources. That's what the movement advocates for. And we want you to be a part. I hope that you have a great evening. and I hope that you take this message to your heart. I look forward to working with you all. Thank you. See you at the March on Washington in Harrisburg at the Capitol Steps, 12 p.m., August 22nd, 2020. For more information, you can always follow our Facebook page, Harrisburg Movement to Protect All People, or the movement, Harrisburg Movement to Protect All People. Also, you can always feel free to reach out to me at Brent Lipscomb on Facebook or brenton.lipscomb@gmail.com. Thanks.
Love that, Brent Lipscomb. When he says connect with me, he means it. I got to say, Brent is one of the sweetest, most accessible guys out there. So if you want to be involved in the movement to protect all people, please do connect with Brent. And the easiest way to do it, of course, is to make a donation. And you can donate to the movement by going to Cash App, $Brent Lipscomb. And Brent is the movement. He runs the movement. So a donation to Brent is a donation to the movement, HBG. And they really do amazing work. I will definitely be at the March on Washington here in Harrisburg. And if you are a local, I hope you'll join me. Well, I think it's cooking so far. We're doing pretty good. We're not time-wise. I'm always looking at the time, and we haven't egregiously gone over our time limit yet. So I do think it's time to go for some commercials, but stick around. They're great. Watch the commercials, and I'll see you on the other side. With the superior selection of pet foods, treats, and supplements from which to choose, at Abrams & Weekly, we strive to meet the needs of your beloved pets. We give sound, individualized nutritional advice. We offer professional pet grooming services in a calm environment. And we assist pet owners in finding the necessary resources to keep your pets happy. We carry a wonderful selection of premium, human-grade, holistic, and healthy food and treats, including raw and freeze-dried diets. We also have toys, beds, crates, training aids, and grooming products. While most of our products are geared towards cats and dogs, we offer rabbit, guinea pig, caged bird, and wild bird feeds, as well as litter and animal bedding. Visit us online at abramsandweekly.com. If you don't see a product on our site, give us a call at 717-232-3963. We may have it in stock, or we may be able to order it for you. Why pay shipping costs when you can shop locally? Abrams & Weekly, a trusted name in pet feed and supplies, serving the greater Harrisburg area since 1985.
Coast to coast, they love the view. The New York Times calls it a fresh perspective. It's got plenty of energy and sass, says the Hollywood Reporter. And from TV Guide, cheers to a promising newcomer on the daytime stage.
Hi, I'm Stuart Landon, producing artistic director at Open Stage, and I am really excited about a new show that I'm working on with my friends. You've heard about The View, and I've always been somewhat of a fan of that lovely show. And I've gathered a couple of my fabulous gay friends. We're going to talk about all these things that are gay and fabulous and fun. So we're going to have a lot to chat about, a lot of hot topics, and a lot of special guests. Me, Matt, Dave, in The Obstructed View right here on Open Stage's channels, Facebook, YouTube. It's going to be great.
I'll figure it out. Okay, here we go. Hi, Rita. It's Stacey and Nick. Let me do it again. Hi, Valerie. Okay. Say it's your birthday. You won the biggest prize. No, let's try again. A little bird told me that this is your favorite song of mine that I sing, so me in the hold on. Not you, Rita. That was a beautiful introduction, too. Hi, this is why I'm not an improviser. Gotcha. regret that.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I was like, you. Them.
And the only thing I know about Wisconsin other than cheese is that you hail from it. Say it's your birthday. We're gonna have a good time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
My talented friends.
Braille. How very funny you are here now, doing as you do, realizing potential obsolete elsewhere. Galaxies abound, yet everyone is perpetually none the wiser. Alarm clock. Hold this. Elevate your spirits. Let me see that smile. It's okay if you don't. Usually, smiles are organic. Meaningful ones, anyway. Gestures. Lying here, in all honesty, time vanishes, however briefly. I may perchance dream, unless, of course, mention is made. Ostrich. Believe me, emoting is an investment. Righteous and true, yesterday's a bargain. Linger alongside your neuroses, loiter in your insecurities. Imagine, if you can, utopic fallout shelters, manicured lawns, and fiber optic barbed wire. Sunrise. Batter up, only the best. Reps, reps, reps. Order over chaos, now or never.
Thanks, Liz Curtis. Oh my goodness. Who doesn't love poetry, especially with such an adorable kitten? That is MTFL's official kitten mascot, Tim, by the way, in case you haven't been following the show. Tim is big news over here, and we need to get a Tim cam. That's what we need to do, because the TOV has the Hank cam, and it's going gangbusters. Hey, you know what? Liz Curtis is one of the writers here on the show. She writes comedy as well as poetry. And if you'd like to tip her for the work she did tonight, she says, go ahead and donate to Open Stage, hbg.com/donate. Make a contribution to the organization that makes it all happen. Thanks, Liz. Good stuff. Good stuff. Adorable kitty. I think I was keeping my eye on the chat room, and I think that we might have achieved our MadLibs goal. Is that true? Let's bring Chad on. Chad, how's it going in the haunted circus tent that is your chat room?
Today will go down in history as the day we have completed our MadLibs before the end of Act 2.
That is unheard of, unprecedented. And you know what it is? I think it's a testament to when you say you're going to have a literary show, it brings in a brainy audience. And
really does.
I've been looking at the chat room, and it's kind of the people who we're used to seeing. So maybe it just kind of like awoke some sort of brainy-ism in the regulars that are in there. I don't know, because
I don't know, but
they seem a lot smarter than usual.
There's throwing out some really big words that I've had to define a couple, so that's fun.
That's great. They're making you work. Making you work. Oh, Liz says, by the way, Tim's full name. Did you know Tim's full name? Chad is Tamara Thomasina Lion Cat Guth, more specifically. So please use the whole name.
We shall respect her with that full title.
Ms. Tim, if you're nasty. All right, Chad. Well, so you're basically off scot-free for the rest of the show. You don't have anything to do, right?
I mean, I will still hang out in the chat room though, because can I get paid for the rest of the show though?
Every time we talk, if you've got time to lean, you got time to clean. Just dust off the cobwebs in that haunted circus, and we'll see you later, Chad. Thanks. Good work. Nicely done, Chad. Very well done. Let's look at our sponsors again. Thanks, sponsors, for everything that you do. This show is just going along swimmingly. I mean, I was quite honestly terrified without having Rachel, sort of at my side, holding my hand through the show, which she literally does. And I thought all hell will break loose. But Bree, you're doing such a fantastic job. And so I thank you. And I thank my sponsors and all of our sponsors. And my next guest on the show, our next guest collectively, is a guy, if you watch the show, you know him for his grilling skills, and they are unmatched. But he wrote me up. He's like, "Hey, man, I happen to teach literature. Why don't you put me on the show?" And I was like, "Sure, of course." So Brennen Dickerson, as you might know him, says that he buys more books than he'll ever actually read. That's a lot of books, because I imagine this guy reads a lot. Please welcome to the show, Brennen Dickerson. Hey, whoa, what is happening? Oh my goodness.
Hello, Gibby, I didn't see you there.
Oh, dusting off one of the old classics, are you?
Absolutely. Stephanie Meyer gets a lot of grief for her Twilight series, but I say I'm just happy she got people to read.
She's doing God's work. Absolutely.
That's right.
Now, if only in the movie adaptation that Kristen Stewart, if she could maybe have brought a little energy to it, maybe they'd do all right. But
well, yeah, but that's certainly not Miss Meyer's fault.
Certainly not. And why would an author be taken to task for the failures of an actor in a movie? I couldn't agree more. Brennen, do you need a light? It doesn't seem as if you're actually igniting that pipe.
It's just to help satisfy an oral fixation. I'm indoors, so I don't want to actually smoke. Just, seems dangerous.
Your way seems a lot safer than mine, because I'm doing. Yeah. Oh, you're covering both. You're covering all.
I got you there.
Okay. So. Well, cheers, cilantro, Selena, mud in your eye. Hey, Brennen, you put a lot of work into a really, really educational, informative, and wonderful video about graphic novels. Something I'm a big fan of, as is Rachel, as you know. Comic book nerd that she is. So let's just cut to the chase. Let's roll the tape, shall we? Thank you, my friend.
Let's roll it. Thank you. Right.
Hi, I'm Brennen. You may recognize me from such classic videos as Books, Not the Enemy, or Books, Sometimes the Enemy. I'm a teacher at the Carlisle Area High School. I teach 9th and 10th grade English. And today I want to talk to you about why graphic novels and comic books are, in fact, literature. I love comic books. And one of my favorite things to do now as an English teacher is to teach kids how to read comic books and why, yes, they are real literature. Now, I say that to people sometimes and I'll get some pushback. They say, Brennen, comics are for kids. That's not real literature. That's not really reading, because there's pictures and stuff. And they're wrong. So first, what is literature? Well, simply put, it's written works that have superior or lasting artistic merit. Now, let's real quick break down the difference between graphic novel and comic book. There is no difference at all. No difference at all. The only reason we have different names is because comic book, well, it has kind of a stigma to it. People hear comic book and they think about the comics in the newspapers or a Bazooka Joe bubblegum comic strip or something like that. And they think, well, that's what all comics are. And then they think, of course, superheroes flying around, stuff like that. Well, that can't possibly be real literature because, as we know, stuff like fantasy and sci-fi and people doing impossible things couldn't possibly be real literature, right? No, obviously it's real literature. Now, the only reason that we have the name graphic novel is because it makes it sound more literary than comic book. It's all just a name. It doesn't mean anything. When people ask me about how is it real literature, one of the things that they bring up is, well, there's pictures, right? You're not really reading. You're not really having to fill in the blanks like you do when you read a novel. So when you read a passage from a novel, you have to use your imagination to visualize all of it. And yeah, that's true. But also, you need to use a lot of imagination when you read a graphic novel as well. So here is a page from a graphic novel. When we look at a piece of visual art, we're going to take into account all sorts of things, like color scheme, design, stuff like that. And we do that with a graphic novel as well. But what I'm most interested in is the blank space between the panels. We call that the gutter. Now, something happens when we are reading a graphic novel in the gutter, and that is called closure. Closure is how our brain fills in the gaps. So, while when we read a regular text novel, we fill in the gaps based on what the author has given us, but they give us a lot of information. We are told explicitly a character walks some way. Some ways we're told exactly how they look, how they sound, how they smell, how they breathe, whatever it is. Right? We are given a lot of information to then just kind of put it into our mind. The graphic novel, we have to fill in the gaps between these panels here, and sometimes, this is the case right here, they jump quite a bit. We have to figure out what happened between there, and that is all going on up here. And there's a lot of studies that show that actually the brain works harder filling in the gaps in the gutter of a graphic novel than it does just reading a regular novel. Now, that's not to say that reading regular novels isn't great. Of course it's great. But the human brain, when we are really interacting and engaging with these pieces, engages really heavily with graphic novels. So setting aside how we literally interact with graphic novels, and that makes our brain work pretty darn hard, there's also the fact that there are a lot of graphic novels out there that have some really important stories to tell us. There's Essex County, a heartbreaking story about growing old and realizing that you regret a lot of what you did and didn't do. Mouse, which is maybe the greatest graphic novel of all time, an allegory for the Holocaust. V for Vendetta, what happens when you are dealing with a fascist government. I don't know about you, but that seems just somewhat applicable right now. Sabrina, harrowing, but amazing. A look at domestic violence, and it's illustrated in such a way that you basically see yourself in the characters. American Born Chinese examines what it means to be not white in America, what it means to be an immigrant in America. And then March, written in part by the late great John Lewis, which is all about the civil rights movement, from a guy who was actually there. All of these are timeless, important stories. So looking back at that definition of literature, do these graphic novels have lasting artistic merit? Yeah, they definitely do. Graphic novels are literature. Comic books are literature. That's all the time I have for today. Tune in next time when I try to figure out the mystery of who wrote the Harry Potter series. The series has been out since the 1990s, and we still have no idea who the author is. It's weird. Good night.
Indeed, one of those mysteries that may never be solved, you know. Great book. It almost doesn't matter who the author is, I think. To me, doesn't matter. Great series of books. Screw that author. Brennen Dickerson, what a piece. What a great piece. I love graphic novels. I just do. The Sandman is my favorite, although the Watchmen mouse, oh, so good. Thanks, Brennan, for defending the humble comic book, something, I mean, sequential art sequential storytelling is unbelievable. So thank you, Brendan. Really do appreciate that. And if you would like to tip Brennan says, why don't you instead make a donation to CumberlandValleyRising.org. CumberlandValleyRising.org is a local organization here in Harrisburg. Those of us who live here, you know, when you see the signs in the yard that say hate has no home here and that kind of stuff, that's kind of sort of the kind of thing that Cumberland Valley Rising does. So they're a great organization. Go to the website, check them out, find out what they do, and make a contribution in Brendan's name. Thanks, Brendan. It wouldn't be My Talented Friends Live without two of my favorite talented friends, the Werners, and it's time to have a song from them. How about the Werners?
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, the Werners. You look so well lit. You look like, yeah, I mean, you're framed well. There's a soft glow over both of you.
Probably my highlighter, but that's fine.
Well, whatever it is.
No, it's not. It's the amazing people here at Open Stage. You guys work. You have no idea how much work goes in behind the scenes so that we can do this silly show for you guys, and we just want you to enjoy it so that the fruits of our labor can be harvested. So
it's almost embarrassing how much work goes into it with the product that comes out. It ultimately
I said any day now.
I'm always proud of it.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, the Werners, what are you going to sing for us today?
So today, I'm actually not singing. I'm going to take the back seat on this one. And because it's my lit friends today, I think a really big, important part of literature is writing. And Nick's actually going to sing an original song that he wrote for me on our second anniversary. We've been together for 11 years now. And this song was the first song that he ever wrote specifically for me. And it's called, as it should be called, You're Crazy Keeps Me Sane.
Thank you, Stacey.
I love you, babe.
Love you too. Baby, you know I won't complain if you stay just the same. You know how much I need you in my life. Baby, you thrill me with those eyes, confuse me with your lies. You make me feel alive when you're around. Sometimes my life's so dull, just inching towards the grave. But I have found with you around, your crazy keeps me sane. Baby, don't think that you're too much. I haven't had enough. You're loving something else I've never felt before. Baby, you keep me on my feet. I never sense defeat. You push and pull and turn me upside down. Baby, it's easy now to see how crazy love can be. Without you, I would never be the same. You could never do me wrong, no matter how you try. Never could it be so bad. I wanna say goodbye. My heart may hurt, my body's sore, my head may spin and ache and more. My lungs may burst, my anger rage. You'll never make me turn this page. Oh. Now, baby, let me tell you what I feel. What I know is I love you. 'Cause your crazy keeps me sane. 'Cause your crazy keeps me sane. 'Cause your crazy keeps me sane.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, that was just, God, that was beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it was just, oh, I love you, the Werners. I miss you, Rachel Landon. Oh, love is love, is love, is love, is love. Thank you, the Werners. And if you, audience out there, want to thank the Werners, and you should, unless your hearts are made of stone, go to Venmo at N-Werner-86, make a contribution to the Werners Love Fund. And this is turning out to be one heck of a show, and we wouldn't be able to do it without our sponsors. So I just want to bring them up again, say thank you to all of our sponsors who have made everything you see here happen. You know, I'm in the beautiful Court Street Cabaret Lounge, which of course is shut down due to COVID times, but we built it thanks to sponsors and donors. And one of these days we look forward to bringing you guys back in here so that I'm not the only one drinking. All right. Well, let's move on to our next guest, Sammy Lee Melville. I mean, if you live in Harrisburg, everybody knows Sammy. Everybody loves Sammy. She's the best. She's the author of the young adult fantasy novel, The Fields. And Sammy also tells stories through film and long form improv. And little known secret, Sammy taught me how to sing harmony. Please welcome Sammy Lee Melville to the show.
Hello.
Hey, pal. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so well. Are you having a good time? Are you enjoying the show?
I am. Nick, that was an awesome song. I want somebody who can handle my crazy.
Oh my goodness, so beautiful. And how are you doing in your you've got one of those old-timey houses like me and Rach do.
Yeah.
Here in Harrisburg, there's some beautiful old architecture in Midtown and Uptown, and I know you've got a beautiful home that you're always working on. How are the kitties?
The cats are great. I tried to get one to sit on my lap for this, and they did not want to. So, but they do say hello, sort of.
We love those kitties, and we love you, and I love the piece that you put together for us, because you are encouraging folks to write, and you are a self-published author. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. I wanted to have more control over what was going on, so I decided to self-publish. Which
is got to be daunting. I mean, if you're, writing in and of itself seems to be like such a personal expression, and then to take it and say, I'm also going to get out there and sell it. I commend you. I commend you on that. And I commend you on this piece you put together for us tonight, because I think it's really, really valuable, Sam. So I'm just gonna shut up and roll this tape. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Pally. Roll that tape.
Hi, I'm Sammy Lee Melville. Among the several ways that I tell stories, my main brag at the moment is that I am a published author. I have one book published called The Fields, and I'm working hopelessly on a second one that I will probably never finish, she says, as a very unreliable narrator. And I wanted to talk to you all today about where stories come from and how you can tap into why you're telling a story. I know a lot of people will come up to me and say, I wish that I could write a book. That's so cool. And they don't understand that they can. If you have a story, there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't tell it. There are so many reasons why we might tell a story. For years and years and years, we've sat around campfires and told stories to explain the beginning of mankind or natural disasters. Anything that someone says, well, why did this happen? And then they tell a story. In the same vein, you can also tell stories to teach a lesson. Aesop's fables are a perfect example of this. We also tell stories to imagine a possible future. So what if scenarios. They're super popular, especially in sci-fi. We also might tell stories to make an imprint and remind ourselves of the past. You see this especially with memoirs, but also in fiction, where authors will take a piece of someone that they want to cherish and turn it into a character. Another reason that we tell stories is to work something out in our lives. It can be a form of self-therapy, reasoning out an experience, justifying it or processing it, even circling back to the first point to explain something, except that we're explaining it to ourselves. Most of the time, if you dig deep, you will find a connection to your life. For example, the book I've published, The Fields, is about a village of people who come from mud. They dig people out of a field of mud and incorporate them into society, and the plot kind of centers around this weird phenomenon in the middle of nowhere. And when I first started writing this story, I had no idea what the point of the story was. I just knew it was a cool idea, and I had an image of a hand popping out of the mud and a person being uncovered, and they're caked in mud, and it's disgusting and creepy, and I love creepy. So I was like, yep, I'm going to tell this story. And it wasn't until 2/3 of the way through the story and I realized, why do they come from the mud and how does this affect them? And I'm trying to describe this idea without going too much into spoilers, but basically I got all philosophical about it and I realized that I was telling a somewhat pessimistic outlook on humanity, but that was something that I wanted my characters to grapple with because I wanted to grapple with it. So it was a way to figure stuff out in my own life as I was writing this really cool story. So how do you tap into the purpose of your story and figure out what the meat of the story is? How do you know why you're telling it, what your message is and all that? You could be like me and just cross your fingers and hope it happens. Or you could write what you know. You've heard it before, and that's because it's 100% applicable. Most people write from their own experience. It gives them more fodder, it gives them more know-how, reliability in the story. Work with what you have. You could begin with a character, and this is another tactic I use, mainly because it's a less structured approach. Instead of creating a story and dropping in characters, you can create a character and figure out what situation you want to see that character in. So start by creating a character sketch, their quirks, their passions, their faults, their tics, etc., and then work from there. This is especially helpful because instead of starting with the how, you immediately jump into the why. Why am I putting this character in this situation? Would another story do justice to this character? Another thing that you could do is, if you have a specific genre that you enjoy exploring, genre can often help you narrow down the purpose of your story. If you're drawn to sci-fi and fantasy, quite possibly your story is a what if. If you want to write a mystery, it's probably going to be explaining something. If it's a romance, it's probably going to be remembering something. A lot of romances take from real life experiences. Historical fiction or nonfiction, you're talking about history here, so it's remembering or teaching a lesson, learning something from what has happened in the past. It's more just guidelines. There's no one way to write a story, and there's certainly no one way to figure out what you want to say. If you want to tell the story, please tell it, and please give it to people to read, because that's the importance of a story, is to share it with other people. So that's me. That's all I got. Thanks, guys, and I hope you have a good night.
Hey, Sam, thank you so much. That was very educational, and from a person who has written their own novel, published their own novel. Great advice, awesome advice. And you know what? If you want to tip Sam tonight, how about you don't tip her? Buy the darn book, The Fields. You'll love it. It's a great book. SammyLeeM.com/the-fields. Pick up a copy of this engaging young adult novel, and that's a great way to show your appreciation for the education that Sam has brought to us tonight. So thank you, my pal Sam Melville, and we didn't even talk about it, but she really did. Sat down at the piano one night with me and taught me how to sing harmony. I'm still not much of a singer, but now I get it, how it works. She's a great educator. Love you, Sam. Thank you for everything that you do. And I think it is time for some more captivating and entertaining commercials.
It's a game show song, just like that.
Game show.
Game show. Game show. Welcome to our game show. A game show where we play game shows. It's gonna be real fun. It's a game show song. Like that?
Contestants.
Who are they gonna be this round?
This time it's going to be Liz Graven, all-time loser.
Are you still gonna do the That's fine. I think they got it. Game show song.
Game show.
It's the Ray Radio Show, beamed directly from the moon to the Pyramid Station at WLCI 97.5 FM, Hawking College Radio, where it is safely processed and sent via advanced telecommunication channels to your open mind. Ray Radio airs Fridays, 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 7 Pacific, and Sundays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. Find it online at WLCI 97.5 FM. Thank you for listening. Hey, it's me, Ray again. I'm going to keep reading you some beatnik poetry. Of course, real beats hated that word. I love the word beatnik, but real beats, they did not dig that. But the guy I'm going to read you from is not even a beat. He's like from after there. I mean, he's associated with them, but he's from after. And his name's Lou Welch, and he like drove a taxi in Chicago, and then one day he was in a cabin out in the woods, and he walked out of the cabin, and nobody knows what happened. But he has a very simple type of poetry, and I really like it. So I'm going to share some Lou Welch with you. Here's one called I Saw Myself. I saw myself, a ring of bone, in the clear stream of all of it, and vowed always to be open to it, that all of it might flow through, and then heard ring of bone, where ring is what a bell does. All right, man. Here's one called The Image, as in a hexagram. The image, as in a hexagram, The hermit locks his door against the blizzard. He keeps the cabin warm. All winter long he sorts out all he has. What was well started shall be finished. What was not should be thrown away. Here's one called The Basic Con. Those who can't find anything to live for always invent something to die for. Then they want the rest of us to die for it too. Short and sweet. Let's see. What else we got here? Well, I can't finish in a minute some of this other stuff, but you should check out Lou Welch. I know him from this book, The Portable Beat Reader. And there's a lot of good stuff in here. I could probably find another poem to do, but I think you get the gist of that one. Check out Lou Welch. He was a cool dude, and he wrote some cool poetry. Yeah, man. All right. Peace out.
That's what hanging out with Ray is like. Ray Colgan, I love you down there in Austin, Texas. We traveled the country, we traveled the world together. Ray, when Rachel and I were on tour with the Intergalactic Nemesis, Ray would not only did he write the darn play that we were performing, but he also drove us all over the country. And I remember one time we pulled up to a strip mall, and Ray said, "Hey, you see that restaurant there, Subway? I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say they're going places." And this was this was like in 2017. So prescient. Love you, buddy. Love you, Ray Colgan. Love your poems. More of those, please, or magic tricks and record recommendations. Anything that Ray can bring us, we'll take it. If you want to tip Ray, go to PayPal, emoscolgan@gmail.com, and check out Ray Ray Radio on Hocking College Radio if you want 2 hours of music that just melts your face off. If you're a fan of radio, and I am, I highly recommend you check out Ray Ray Radio. Thanks, Ray Colgan. How about some more sponsors? More sponsors for the show. They keep coming. So many people have contributed to this organization. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and thank you so much to all of those folks who have contributed to Open Stage throughout the years. And we couldn't do it without you. Moving right along with the show is just, it's just action-packed. So much. Who would have thought a show about books would be so exciting? And it is. It's just, if you're not excited yet, get ready. My next guest, Rachel Dendy, by the way, who was also on tour with the Intergalactic Nemesis, also driven around by Ray Colgan. She's got some stories, but Rachel, let me talk about Rachel Dendy for a minute. Rachel Dendy is an art maker and a facilitator with a background in theatrical, stage, event, and tour management, as she did tour manage the Intergalactic Nemesis. She currently works in animation in a super cool company, Minnow Mountain. She served as their line producer for the rotoscope animation of Amazon Prime Studios' original series, Undone, which you must check out. I'm just going to repeat that. Amazon Prime Studios' original series, Undone, by Minnow Mountain. Check that out. Now, Dendy's chosen artistic mediums are crochet, embroidery, and spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets. I love a girl who loves spreadsheets. Please welcome to the show one of my favorite people on the planet, Rachel Dendy.
Hey, Gib.
Hey, friend. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How's life down there in crazy Texas?
I mean, I feel like it's so similar everywhere now. Like, you don't notice the heat when you're trapped inside your house all the time.
Well, there's that. Is it super hot down there? It's usually super hot this time of year.
Oh, yeah. August. We've gotten into the hundreds at this point, for sure.
Certainly. Look at that. Look at all your friends.
I hope you don't miss that.
I do not. I do not. I do not miss that, but I do miss you, and I miss hanging out with you, as does Rachel Landon, as does Ray Colgan, I'm sure, and all of our crazy friends on the Intergalactic Nemesis. But you have, first off, I just want to say, having been to your apartment, you have one of the coolest apartments I've ever been in. And in this piece that you put together for us, you basically give a cribs tour without ever mentioning it of the coolest apartment in Austin, Texas. So thank you for that. And also, you know, when I have to say, when I said I want to do a literary show, that you were the first person I thought of. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to put it the other way around. I said I want, and Lando will back me up on this. I said, we got to get Dendy on the show. And let's get Dendy to talk about books. And then I was like, oh, let's do a literary friends show. So it was really about that. You're yeah, that's true. Because when I think about books, I think about Rachel. I think about Rachel Dendy.
Yeah, we did a lot of book trading on tour. You got me to read the Golden Compass series.
Well,
never read it. So good.
To be fair, the Landons, Stuart and Rachel, got me to read it, so I can't take credit for that. Although, oh my God, what an amazing series of books!
Vicariously, thank you, Landons.
Yes, indeed. Okay, look, enough of us bantering. Although I could banter with you all evening, I love talking to you, Dendy. It's time to roll that beautiful tape. I love you. Thank you for being on the show. Mwah.
Mwah.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. I'm Rachel, and this is... Today on Rachel Recommends, I will be recommending a book, or rather a series of books to get you through this quarantine in style. And since we'll all be locked in our homes probably through the end of the year, we might as well read the longest epic fantasy books possible. And, oh boy, y'all, this is a big one. I give you The Way of Kings, the first book of the Stormlight Archive series. Stormlight Archive has it all, y'all. Battles, politics, moderately complicated magic systems, class struggle, gods and stuff, cool monsters, race relations. A lush and varied imaginary country complete with cool maps. Your cast of characters includes, but is not limited to, distinguished aging warriors, hot nerdy widows, cocky rich boys, scrappy young heroines, and lastly, my personal favorite, handsome, broody heroes. And maybe the scrappy young heroine and the handsome, broody hero are gonna get together. I don't know. I'm not gonna tell you. Okay, but wait though. The best part about Way of Kings. This book clocks in at a cool 1,280 pages. And yes, of course, that's a lot of pages, but like what else are you doing? Is your social calendar so full right now that, no, you were gonna watch A Christmas Prince again, you monster? I mean, what better time than now to lose yourself in an epic fantasy full of action and adventure and love and family and honor and all that junk? Plus, there are 2 more books of comparable size in the series, and another one coming out in November. If you play your cards right, you could be basking under the 3 moons of Roshar until the new year. Thanks so much for watching. This has been...
You see what I mean? As much fun as you just had watching that video, that's how much fun it is to hang out with Rachel Dendy all the time. I love you, my friend. I love you. I miss you so much. Thank you for putting that together. Yes, read books. Read, oh gosh, I hope I say it right. Dendy, was it the Stormlight Archive series? Is that right? Yes. Okay, good. I got it right. Good. Yes, the Stormlight Archive series. And if you appreciate the recommendations from Miss Rachel Dendy, please donate to Austin Creative Alliance's Artistic Emergency Relief Fund. The Austin Alliance Emergency Relief Fund gives grants to Austin creative professionals whose livelihood has been adversely impacted by COVID. And I guarantee you all artistic people have been severely impacted by this pandemic. So if you can make a contribution, artists all over the country need it. Go to austincreativealliance.org/emergency and make a contribution. And thank you, Rachel Dendy. Well, we've built it up. I'm telling you, it's the coolest apartment ever. It's super cool. You just want to hang out there and read books, which is what she does all the time. We've been building up this entire show. God, all we've talked about is MadLibs, and the chat room's just been about MadLibs. Well, it's time now to do the MadLibs sketch.
"'Twas brilliant, and the slithy toes did gyre and gimble in the abandoned amusement park. All mimsy were the borough groves, and the platypuses outgrabe. Beware the Nimue, my son, the jaws that chop, the claws that yeet. Beware the jub-jub bird, and shun the efficacious bandersnatch. He took his vorpal candlestick in hand, long time the maxim foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum hemlock, and stood a while in thought. And as in an uffish thought he stood, the Nimue, with eyes of chiffon, came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and meow as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through. The vorpal candlestick went ding-dong boing. He left it dead, and with its femur he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Nimue? Come to my arms, my sublime boy, O frabjous day, Callooh, Calais. He chortled in his despair. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toes did gyre and gimble in the abandoned amusement park. All mimsy were the borough groves, and the platypuses outgrabe.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's, I think, my favorite MadLib sketch ever. Let's bring Patrick Hughes back on the screen. Patrick Hughes, are you still there?
Of course.
That was brilliant. I think it's my favorite MadLib sketch ever, buddy.
Excellent. Good. I like this poem.
Yeah, well, I love this poem too.
So much improvement of the original. I mean,
I think you're right. You're right. Joey B says the force is strong with this MadLib, and I think that's right. I love the shout out to those adorable little teddy bears from Star Wars. I can't remember what they were called. What were they called?
Ewoks.
Ah, right. Never heard of this show, but the poem was great. I think kudos to our chat room writers. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they really brought out the depth of Jabberwocky in a way that I've never thought of before.
Yeah,
really quite brilliant.
And I almost have to give begrudging credit to Chad Michelson for curating.
Look, just don't let him hear you say that.
No, let's just keep that between you and me. Please don't. Let's hope the potential billions of internet viewers understood that I complimented Chad. Oh, yeah. It will never happen again.
Good.
Cheers. Cilantro.
Cheers.
Selena.
Cilantro.
Yes.
Cilantro. That's great. Coriander.
I can make up my own toasts. Patrick Hughes, you're a delight. And folks, you can tip him if you go to PayPal, paypal.me/Patrick Hughes, and let him know how much you enjoy his whimsical spin on literature. You like that?
Yep.
You too, buddy. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, this show is cooking, man. I'm having a good time. And you know what I'm so excited for? I am so excited because we are about to world premiere our game show, first time ever, open stage game show. And Stuart Landon was roused from his slumber and came in. He's over there now. Did you fix the Wheel of Death, Stuart Landon?
It's ready to go.
Stuart Landon, somebody woke Stuart up and said, hey, nothing works at the theater. And guy came down here and fixed everything. So thank you, my brother. And it's time to go to the Wheel of Death, shall we? Shall we go to the Wheel of Death, Stacey? Or Stacey's got to she's got to mash some buttons. Are you there?
I am. Hold on.
Yeah, we're going to get it into an infinite loop of terror if we don't mute the right.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's right. That's okay. This is what it's exciting. I think it's the other way, Stace. I think you want to mute you and unmute the Wheel of Death. This is great. This is what live TV is all about. Muting and unmuting. Oh, I see what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
That's good. What you got now is right.
I fixed it. We did it. Can you hear me?
We've done it.
Hello?
We've gotten success. Hello. Can you hear me?
But I can't hear you.
Oh, turn the volume up.
Going great.
Yeah, it's going very, very well. Hey, Stacey, just
yes, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh my God! You know what the greatest thing about the Wheel of Death right now, Stacey, is that we have
dying. Yeah.
we have gone to great technical extremes to bring you in front of a brick wall. I believe it's there. Don't knock on it. You'll raspberry your knuckles. Oh my goodness. Well, so Stacey, what you're here to do is to choose the first game that we're going to play on Spinoff. Isn't that right?
That's true. That's what you guys hired me to do.
That's it. Pretty much that's it. So why don't you give that wheel a spin and we'll find out what we're going to play on Spinoff. This is the best part where you just sit and wait for it to stop spinning.
It's a spin again.
This could go on all night. You're very good at this, Stacey.
I have I went to AMDA, so you know.
You're a polymath. I also went to AMDA. What do we get?
It's still going. We're at Tiny Debate.
We actually got Tiny Debate again. Okay. All right. Good. I like it. So that's the Wheel of Death. Now you've seen it. Now you must stick around, right? I mean, how would you not tune in for the spin-off game show?
Look at this high tech.
Chad Michelson spent hours cutting out construction paper and coloring those in, and I think Chad did a fine job.
The wheel itself is made of construction paper because we spare no expense. And
most of this theater. Yeah, what happened to the little button in the middle?
It's orange now. We lost the purple one forever. Thank you, officers. Thank you.
That's she has had minutes of practice, and that's, that little navel of the Wheel of Death is critical. All right, Stacey, that's great. We've gotten our game. Get off the screen. We've done it. Go back to the other screen and fix your mutes. Do all the things. Gosh, we need to be able to hear the Werners in their natural environment, not on that brick wall. If you have a green screen, if you have the technical ability to put any picture known to man, I think we chose a good one. We chose a brick wall. Folks, that is our show, and my goodness, it's been a good one. Do tune into a Spinoff if you got nothing else to do, or maybe you're just starting to catch a buzz and you're looking for more entertainment at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right here on the East Coast, and work your way backwards as you travel westward. We will be premiering the Spinoff Game Show After Party, and we're going to have Nick and Stacey Werner, naturally. And when you're going to have a game show, you got to have anchors. especially a game show with a panel. So Nick and Stacey Werner will be there. America's sweetheart TJ Creedon will be on the panel. Brad Bartol and Ari Retzer, fans and friends of the show, you recognize them. They'll be on the panel. And tonight's contestants, none other than our own pop culture scientist, Chris Ondeck, and the losingest player in Natch game history. Nobody has lost more than Liz Graven. And Liz Graven will be on the first ever episode of Spinoff, the after show game party. So tune in for that. As far as this show is concerned, thank you, Dr. Ellen Stockstill, and thank you, Brent Lipscomb. Thank you, Brennen Dickerson, Sam, Melville, Rachel, Dendy, Ray Colgan. Of course, my writers, Dave Richwine, Patrick Hughes, Jace Fickley, Liz Curtis, my technical team, Wayne Landon, Dan McGregor, and tonight, Stuart Landon for just saving the day. Thank you to my beautiful, lovely spouse who's over there in Colorado. Thank you, Rachel Landon. Thank you, Mariana. We love you. Be well. Thanks, Chad Michelson, for doing a decent job for once. And thank you for the all-time greatest pinch hitter of the history of the internet, Brianna Dow, for making this show run smooth as silk. And thank you, Nick and Stacey. Let's bring the Werners back up. Nick and Stacey, do you have yourselves unmuted? Are you able to hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I just hear you just fine.
Goodness, it's gonna happen then.
It's going good. Just jump up on that mic though, Stacey, because when you're far away from it, I can't hear you.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That's
okay,
better.
So I'll just talk like this for the rest of the show. What a wonderful, informative show we had. It was
educational.
It was
entertaining.
I'm always in awe of how much smarter everyone in the world is than me.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I mean, I set the bar very, very low. Hey, the Werners, I just want to point out that if you like watching content on the internet, that you should probably tune in on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right? For your and my favorite show, Stacey.
Literally my favorite show. Me and Gibby own the comment section. So
We
come
are
and own it with us.
Yes,
The
we are
Obstructed
top chatters
View.
in
Every
the Obstructed
Thursday
View.
night on Facebook and YouTube. Just follow Open Stage on either Facebook or YouTube, and you'll get an immediate reminder that it's happening, and it's so much fun.
So much fun. Bree Dow's there. Hank the cat is there, who I know you have problems with, but the rest of us are okay.
Yeah, that cat.
Hey, you know what's coming up next week, the Werners?
What?
My foodie friends.
Yay! That's our favorite segment. We're gonna be so hungry the whole time.
It's so fun. We're gonna have Brennan back grilling some stuff. Matter of fact, we're gonna find out what ingredients he uses on Spinoff, but you gotta watch to find out. Chris Ondeck is gonna help him find his ingredients, and Renee Stairs is gonna cook some focaccia for us next week. We'll also have the return of Kamika Campbell and Harrisburg Black News Upbeat. It's just so much to come back for, right? But you know what?
And you have to come back. This show is, not only do we have actual informative and what's going on in the Black Lives Movement here in Harrisburg, we offer information about how you can just be better Harrisburgers.
Yes,
that's what this show's about.
Be a good Harrisburger. That's what this show is about. Exactly right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe, share, spread this like a disease. Spread it like a highly infectious disease that causes pustules. Just spread it everywhere.
Ew.
Yes, exactly. And hey, on that healthy note, Nick and Stacey, why don't you take us out?
We will. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of My Talented Friends Live. Nick, thank you so much for your beautiful song. You're so lucky that I married you after you wrote that monstrosity. And with that, I'd like to leave you with this.
My talented friends.
my talented friends. The very talented